You made it to another morning. That might sound like a small thing, obvious, barely worth remarking on. The kind of fact that registers just barely before you reach for your phone or your coffee or your first thought of the day. But the writer of Lamentations would want to stop you right there. He would tell you that every morning you open your eyes is not just biological continuation. It is evidence of something ancient and deliberate and astonishingly personal. The mercy of God, freshly given for this exact day, for you. We are going to sit with that truth this morning, not rushing past it the way we usually do, not treating it as background noise while we focus on everything urgent. We are going to let it land. Because if this truth actually lands, if the reality of new mercy settles into your chest rather than just passing through your ears, it will change how you step into this day. It will change what you see when you look at the hours stretching out ahead of you. It will change the posture you carry into everything that comes. The writer of Lamentations is an unusual and remarkable guide for this particular morning, because he is not writing from comfort. He is not writing from a place where it is easy to see God's goodness. He is writing from the middle of devastation, from inside a national catastrophe so complete that it is difficult to imagine. Jerusalem has fallen. The temple has been destroyed. The people have been taken into captivity. Everything that once felt certain and permanent has been taken apart. And it is into this setting, in chapter 3, beginning at verse 22, that we find one of the most stunning pivots in all of Scripture. The writer has been cataloging his suffering in honest, unflinching terms. He has not softened the darkness or pretended the grief is less than it is. And then, without dismissing any of it, without pretending the darkness away, he remembers something. He says to himself, "Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." I say to myself, "The Lord is my portion. Therefore I will wait for him. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed." He is not saying things are not hard. He is not saying the suffering is not real or that the darkness does not qualify as darkness. He is saying something more precise and more devastating in the best way. In the middle of the hardest thing I have ever lived through, we are still here. We have not been utterly destroyed. And the reason for that, the reason he can trace with clarity even in the rubble, is not his own resilience or cleverness or survival instinct. It is the great love of God, which has been holding him even when he could not feel it, even when every visible evidence seemed to suggest abandonment. For his compassions never fail. The Hebrew word behind compassions here, rahamim, carries in it the image of a mother's love for the child she carried in her own body. A love that is not abstract or theoretical. A love that is tender and instinctive and located in the deepest physical and emotional recesses of the one who loves. God's compassions are like that. Not the distant, transactional kindness of a deity watching from a remove, but the close, persistent, woven into the fabric of who he is, love of one who cannot choose not to care. And they never fail. Yesterday's difficulty did not use them up. Last month's crisis did not deplete them. The long stretch of hard you have been walking through has not exhausted them. They are here. They are as full as they have ever been. They are new every morning. This is the line that wants to stop you. New. Not the leftover mercy from yesterday, slightly diminished from use, whatever remains after yesterday's needs were addressed. New. Freshly given. issued again at the start of this day with the same fullness as the first day they were offered. The mercy available to you this morning is not yesterday's mercy with some of it gone. It is a new mercy, a fresh compassion, specifically provided for today, for the version of you that woke up this morning with this particular set of circumstances and this specific weight and this exact need. Think about what that means for the day you are waking up into. Maybe you are carrying something heavy from yesterday, a failure you cannot stop reviewing, a conversation that went badly, a decision you are second-guessing, a way you fell short of who you wanted to be. Yesterday's mercy was sufficient for yesterday, and today's mercy is new, completely replenished. You do not enter this morning having already spent some portion of God's available care. You enter it with the full measure of His compassion, freshly given for today. Or maybe what you are carrying is not from just yesterday, but from much further back. A wound that has not fully healed. A grief that comes and goes in waves over months or years. A pattern you have been trying to change for longer than you would like to admit. The mercy available to you this morning is not tired of the persistence of your need. It is not calculating how many times you have needed the same thing and beginning to wonder if you will ever get it together. It is new. It is not seeing what you need as excessive or unreasonable or too much. It is simply here, as it has always been. Offered. Take it. Great is your faithfulness. This is the doxology, the praise that breaks through the grief like light through a crack in a wall. The moment the writer steps out of his circumstances long enough to declare something he knows to be true, even when he cannot immediately feel it. Faithfulness. The consistent, undeviating, day after day, year after year reliability of a God who does not change, who does not wake up some mornings in a different disposition than others, who is not more generous when you have been good and more withholding when you have failed, whose faithfulness is not a reward for your performance, but an expression of His character. Great. Not ordinary, not adequate. Great. Abundant beyond what is needed. More than enough for whatever today holds. And then the writer says something that reveals the exact mechanism by which he has arrived at this truth in the middle of devastation. He says, I say to myself. He speaks it into the darkness of his own grieving heart, into the silence of the rubble. He declares the truth he cannot currently feel, but chooses to affirm. This is not passive reception. This is an act. He says to himself, the Lord is my portion. Therefore, I will wait for Him. I will wait. Not, I have given up and stopped expecting anything. Not, I have made peace with being abandoned. I will wait, deliberately, in trust, because the one I am waiting for has a record of being worth waiting for. The mercy is coming. It is already here. It has been here all along. And because of who God is and the long record of His faithfulness, I can afford to wait, to hold on, to stay. There is a voice in the Psalms that stands alongside what the writer of Lamentations discovered. And I want to bring it in here because it adds a temporal dimension. It speaks about the rhythm of night and morning in a way that speaks directly to where you are right now. David writes in Psalm 30, verse 5, For His anger lasts only a moment, but His favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Weeping may stay for the night. There is no minimizing here. No brushing past the fact that darkness is real and that some nights are very long. The night is acknowledged. The grief is given its due. Some of you have been in a night that has lasted longer than you expected to bear. A night of loss, or illness, or uncertainty, or waiting that seems to have no end. David does not pretend you are not in the night. He says the night may stay. He gives it its full presence. And then he says, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Not might come, comes. It is written into the structure of the thing itself. The night does not last. Morning arrives. And with the morning, the new mercies that were not there for you yesterday, because yesterday was not yet today. Fresh, replenished, faithful. What does it mean to actually wake up to God's new mercies, rather than sleepwalking through them? To let this truth land as reality, rather than as a pleasant concept that you acknowledge in principle and then set aside. I think it means pausing long enough to receive what is being offered before you take stock of everything that needs to be managed. Not performing gratitude you do not feel. Not forcing yourself into an emotion that is not there. But genuinely pausing in whatever quiet the morning allows and letting the fact arrive. I am here. This morning exists. And the mercy of God is fresh for this exact morning, for me, with full knowledge of everything I am carrying and everything I have done and everything I have failed to do. It has not run out. It has not been used up. It is new, and it is for me. That is not a small thing to receive before the day begins. That is the foundation on which everything else stands. Some of you are entering this morning genuinely exhausted. Not just the physical fatigue that rest can address, but the deeper exhaustion of having carried something difficult for a long time without sufficient relief. The exhaustion that comes from hope deferred, from waiting for something to change and watching it stay the same, from trying to do the right thing and not seeing it result in anything better. If that is where you are this morning, the phrase "new every morning" is not a reproof. It is not pointing out how much you have failed to appreciate. It is a lifeline thrown directly into the water where you are. The mercy is new. It has not given up on the wait. It is fresh for this exact day, for this version of you in this moment, in this difficulty. Receive it. And some of you are entering this morning carrying something specific you need mercy for. A specific failure, a specific wound you have caused, a specific way you fell short of who you meant to be. The writer of Lamentations did not write about abstract, theoretical mercy. He wrote about the mercy available at the point of deepest failure and deepest need, in the actual rubble of what had gone wrong. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. In the middle of the worst of it, we are still here. The mercy met him in the devastation. It will meet you in yours. Not to excuse what needs to be made right. Mercy is never an excuse. But to sustain you in the making right of it. To give you ground to stand on while you do the hard work of repair and growth and becoming who you are called to be. This is the nature of what the writer discovered. God's faithfulness is not a reward for our faithfulness. It is not contingent on what we did yesterday. It does not reflect how well we have been performing. It is simply a fact about God, as fixed and dependable as sunrise. And just as sunrise does not consult yesterday's weather before deciding whether to appear, God's new mercies do not consult your recent record before deciding whether to come. They come because He is faithful, because His character is what it is, Because the great love that would not let the writer of Lamentations be consumed is the same love extended to you on this ordinary, unrepeatable morning. You do not need to earn today's mercy. You do not need to have everything from yesterday resolved before you can receive today's fresh start. The writer was not writing from a place of spiritual achievement when he made this discovery. He was writing from rubble. And he still found the mercy real. He still found the compassions present. He still found the faithful God in the middle of the hardest morning he had ever lived. There is a particular temptation that comes with the idea of new mercy that is worth naming directly, because it can quietly undermine the very freedom the mercy is meant to give. The temptation is this: to think that new mercies are for the people who need them less, that they are for the people who are doing reasonably well, who have not needed quite so much mercy lately, who have not returned with the same need quite so many times. And if you have been struggling for a while, if the same difficulty keeps returning, if the same pattern keeps repeating, you may begin to suspect that perhaps the mercy is running a little thin in your direction. But that is precisely the opposite of what the writer of Lamentations discovered. He was writing from inside the maximum possible failure, the catastrophic collapse of everything he had built his life around. And the discovery he made there, cracking through the grief like light through stone, was that even here, the mercies were new. Even in this, the compassions were present. The faithfulness was great, which means the new mercy available to you this morning is not calibrated to your recent performance. It is not distributed on a sliding scale that gives more to those who have failed less. It is new for you this morning, in the middle of whatever you are actually living through. Not the idealized version of your life, but the real version. The actual you, with the actual struggle, on this actual morning. That is who the mercy is for. That is who will find it waiting, fresh and full, every morning they are willing to reach for it. So reach for it now, before the day opens up and the pace takes over. Reach for the new mercy that is already here, already given, already waiting. This is the most important thing you will do this morning. Not the most urgent, but the most important. Everything you do today will be shaped by whether you do it as someone who has received fresh mercy, or as someone surviving on yesterday's depleted reserves. Let us pray. Father, I come to you this morning the way all mornings invite me to, with the fresh opportunity to receive what you have freshly given. I come as someone who carries things from yesterday and from longer ago than yesterday. And I come to this truth, which I am choosing to receive as truth even on the mornings when it does not feel easy. Your mercies are new this morning. They have not run out. They have not been reduced by everything I brought to you before. They are here. They are for me, and I receive them. Thank you for the mercy I have not earned. Thank you that your compassions do not depend on my record, but on your nature, on the rachamim, the deep and tenacious love that is simply part of who you are, that you cannot set aside any more than the sun can set aside its light. Thank you that even in the seasons that feel most like devastation, even in the mornings that are hard to find gratitude in, you are still here. Your mercies are still new. Your faithfulness is still great. I receive today's mercy. I do not try to earn it or prove I deserve it. I simply open my hands and take what you freely offer. Compassion for today. Strength for what today holds. Grace for the mistakes I will make. Patience for the difficult moments. Presence in the quiet hours. new mercies for this new morning. Forgive what needs to be forgiven, from yesterday and from all the days before it. Not because the forgiveness erases what happened, but because it is real, and the mercy is new, and I do not have to drag yesterday into today and let it define what today becomes. Your mercies are new. That means today has its own fresh start, a genuinely fresh start. I receive it. Help me to actually live as though the mercy is real today, not just as a background principle I believe in abstractly, but as a living reality that shapes how I move through the hours. In the moments when I am tempted to return to old patterns and old lies about who I am and what I deserve, in those moments, remind me, the mercy is new. The compassion has not run out. The faithfulness is great. I can try again. I can begin again. Today is not yesterday. Today is new. Let me pass the mercy on today. Because the person who has genuinely received mercy, who has let it land rather than simply acknowledged it, tends to find it easier to extend grace to others. Help me be generous today with the patience I have received from you. Help me be gentle with the people around me the way you are gentle with me. Help me see the people I encounter today as people who also need new mercies, not as obstacles or inconveniences, but as fellow human beings being held by the same faithful God. I say to myself what the writer of Lamentations said to himself in the middle of the rubble, out loud, as an act of will and not just of feeling. The Lord is my portion. That is enough. Not because I have everything resolved, not because the hard things have become easy, but because the one who is faithful is also the one who is mine. And that is sufficient ground to stand on for this day. Therefore, I will wait. I will not panic. I will not give up. I will not let the difficulty of the night convince me that morning holds nothing new. I will wait with trust, knowing that your mercies have never once failed to be new. Every morning, even the hardest ones, even this one. Great is your faithfulness, Lord. I say it not because it is the easy thing to say, not because the circumstances make it feel obvious and natural and effortless, but because it is true. Because the record holds. Because mercy has been new every morning of every day that has ever been. Because you have not changed. Because you will not change. Because the compassion that sustained the writer of Lamentations in the middle of catastrophe is the same compassion extended to me in this moment, in this morning, in this specific and unrepeatable day that is just beginning to open. Great is your faithfulness. I receive it. I walk into this day in it. I carry it with me into every hour. And when the day gets hard, as days do, I will remember. The mercy is not used up. It will be new tomorrow, too. I will make it through this day the same way I have made it through every other one, held by a faithfulness greater than I can fully take in, and sustained by compassions that have never once failed to show up. Amen.